Hello. I am testing to see if anyone's going to find me. We are live. I am 10:15 is when I'm supposed to start. Hello, Evelyn. This is so exciting. It's working. Yay. Okay, so welcome. Welcome, Kim. Oh, this is so exciting. So I had to fiddle with my lighting a little bit because the room I'm in has lots of windows and usually it's so dark in here. And so I have lots of lights. And so I was looking all washed out. I see a little bit of a shadow there. Okay. So thank you for coming. And I just wanted to show you, I was fiddling with my lighting and I do have this cool selfie light. It's a little bright going that way, but I have that right above my computer to give it a little bit of extra light. Oh, thank you so much. I feel like I am, exhausted. So my schedule on Saturdays is usually, I was getting up at 5 a.m. and then going all the way till 10 a.m. But I got up this morning at 6 a.m. and I did some classes. I did 2 half-hour classes, and then I had a level 7 class, and then I had a break, which was kind of scheduled. And during my level 7 class, I got a cancellation for my second group of classes. So that worked out really well. And thank you, Kim, for mentioning how the lighting looks. It is my turn, Evelyn, to teach in a scorching hot room. Okay, you used a different link than the one you posted yesterday. Luckily, I had it shown up on my iPad. Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure how that works. If you make an announcement and then you go to the link, or if you go to I just went to a whole new live. Okay. What happened to your air? Oh, I live in New Hampshire, so we do not have central air conditioning. And so in the side room that I'm in is kind of an office. We've used it for an office before, and we have had an air conditioner in here, but we can't really afford to put an air conditioner in every single room. Go to manage lives. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure how I can do that right this minute. Should I do that right while I'm online? I don't know. I'm going to have to just keep going and hopefully people find me. So hopefully they'll find my channel. Okay, thank you, Kelly. So yeah, so we don't have air conditioning throughout the house with central air. Some people do in newer homes, but I live in an older house and we put air conditioners in the rooms and it's quite expensive. And plus our electrical can't handle it. So, and usually it's not that hot. So usually we'll just have like a fan or something. But even a fan, during a class, it kind of makes noise. So I do have an air conditioner in here, but I think the power killed it. So anyway, it's usually not that hot in here, especially in the morning. Like yesterday, my feet were cold. But today it's supposed to be 100 degrees in New Hampshire, which is very unusual. So it's going to be hot. Yeah. And I would really love to move to a warmer climate, but it is what it is. I can't convince my husband to do it. So welcome to my live. And I have a few things that I would like to talk about. First of all, I do have an iPad group, and I am not a tech expert. I just was on a few different groups and I found people kept saying, do you use an iPad? Do you use an iPad? And I asked a friend of mine, I said, do you think that we need an iPad group? Because we'll go through a general group and then the topic will be iPad, and then I would have to scroll all the way through and try to find information, and trying to help people was difficult. So I went ahead and said, let's try it. Let's just give it a try. So my son loves the name iPad. No, VIP Kid teachers use iPads to teach, something like that. So it's been growing. It's been growing. I almost have 1,000 members in that group. It's crazy. And I just started a thread about to support people that are having to move from their Chromebooks, because people keep messaging me privately and basically crying because they have to give up the Chromebook. So I had no idea that was going to happen when I started the group. Yeah, thank you, Marianne. And I just had no idea that the group would grow like that. I just knew there were several iPad users. But my purpose in the group is not to have just everybody who only uses an iPad. And if you use the iPad for any, if you don't use it exclusively, you're out of the group. No, that's not what it's about. It's about some people use it exclusively, but it's really good to have as a secondary device. And I see that Teacher Kelly said it saved her 4 times. And what happened to me at the beginning when I first started teaching, I had an older computer, and I had it next to the computer, and I found that the iPad worked better. And I thought at the beginning I had seen they discouraged people from using an iPad, but I'm like, hey, it works until they tell me I can't. I did see, now I've been with VIP Kid for a year and a half now. And at the very beginning, I did see information that said not to use the Chromebook. But I knew that people use the Chromebook, so I figured, okay, it's working and everything's going fine. But, now we have the app problem. And I don't know if they'll maybe make it so that at some point you can go back to using the Chromebook. I'm not sure. So anyway, I had a friend, she's still trying to get on. She's kind of an older lady, and she's a wonderful teacher. She has her master's, and she teaches at a Christian school, and she could really use the extra income. And so I'm trying to get her into VIP Kid, and she, it takes a while for people to learn all of these new things. And she had a friend that was going to help her, and they were going to buy her a Chromebook. And I said, no, don't get the Chromebook. And then I felt bad because they spent more money on a regular computer than a Chromebook. And I felt bad. Maybe I told them the wrong thing. But she is not even in VIP Kid yet. And fortunately, she does have a computer that would work. So she did not end up getting a Chromebook. So I did see that information early on, but I know some people were using them and they were working very well. I've never used a Chromebook, so I don't really know, but they sounded like they were doing a great job. So I started a little thread on my group, like, let's, mourn with the Chromebook users, because they love it. They love their Chromebook. It's not just about getting another device. It's, once you get used to your own setup, it's hard to change when it's working. But I was using an iPad, and I used the iPad for over 1,000 classes last year. And for most of the year, it was all I had. I didn't have a secondary device. So I got a MacBook Pro on a Groupon, and it just kept glitching on me. And I ended up a friend, fortunately, I found somebody that could help me, and he changed the hard drive on it. And so that worked really well. And it's still working. It's what I'm using now. My whole desire yes, thank you all for coming. And yeah, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you coming. The whole purpose of me wanting a computer was so that I could use the cam twist and try to use the graphics, which I have not figured out yet. Kim, I noticed that you're very good at that stuff. I am not. And I went through the videos, but my computer kept crashing, so I thought it was my computer. So at some point, I'll get back into trying to figure it out. But it looks really great. I was watching a video yesterday of a YouTube VIP Kid teacher Brett, and she was showing the makeup one. I was like, I've got to get my friend to figure that one out. She thinks she's older and she doesn't have the, VIP kid look and everything. So, and she's like, I got to do my makeup and all that. And I'm like, hey, if she can do the app, that would be great. So, okay. So Kim uses MannyCam since she has a PC. Yeah, that's great. And I have some props, but honestly, it gets overwhelming to have so many props. I have a few that I generally use like all the time. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about was my Mike and Meg. I am on a group called Ravelry.com, which is a knitting group. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it. Ravelry.com. If you've heard of it, you know. But you can go on there, and if you knit or crochet, you can share projects. It's kind of, I call it the Facebook of knitting. They have, yarn, and they have like chat rooms that you can go to. Um, yeah, okay. I see. I'm reading. So Kim says she teaches in her living room. I can't really teach in my living room because I have a family and they're pretty loud. So on Ravelry.com, I met this woman. I have never met her in person. She lives in Texas, and her name is Sarah. She does not know the computer at all, but somehow we got into talking on the chat. She's the only person I've ever chatted with. And I went back on there, and I know she loved to make toys. So I asked her if she could make me a Mike and Meg. And I sent her a picture. She is a teacher, but she has no idea what VIP Kit is. So I sent her a picture of Mike and Meg, and the only thing is I have to put a lightning bolt on Mike. That's still to come, and I feel like they need a better smile. I was thinking of making like little smiley things and laminating it, maybe doing Velcro or something. And like when she's sad, I would do a sad face, and I would do, happy face type thing. Fine. I think she's kind of fine right now. She doesn't look really happy. But I had my first boy today that chose to be Meg for the unit assessment. I think he was trying to be funny. But yeah, I love these. They come in handy a lot. So for the unit assessment, now my backdrop for the class is a little bit smaller. So you can't see the edges of this thing here. So what sticks out right here is just this spot. So if you want to be Meg for the unit assessment, I can put it like that. So just the Meg sticks out. So it's really fun. So that is my Mike and Meg story. And it's a friend of mine from Ravelry.com. And I kind of thought maybe if, they were something people liked, I could get her some business, but I don't know. People are making them, and we have the puppets, and I paid her a little bit of money for it. So I don't know if that's anything anyone would be interested in, but I do knit and I crochet, but I don't really make toys. But that might be something that I take up, because I do have I do have another life. So some of you may not know, but I do have a large family. This is my family, and I have 13 children. And how much does she charge? I paid her $30, which that was like with shipping and everything. So I think that was kind of like, I think that wasn't enough, but I felt like that was reasonable. Yeah. So I think she paid quite a bit in shipping. She probably could have paid less, but she was, she wanted to make sure they got here safely and everything. So I have 13 children. This is a picture of all of my kids. And so obviously this is an older picture. My oldest now is 31. I don't know. I lose track. I don't like to think about how old they all are. She it has 3 kids of her own, and my second daughter, she's the one in South Carolina that we just visited. Um, uh, and of course, Kelly, your comment, a TLC show. Well, we're a real family, okay? Do you want your family on TV? Honestly, I like Facebook. We can share the good stuff. I don't really want, all that publicity, but I'm kind of going out there with the VIP kids stuff. I feel like I'm, sharing my life. And yeah, Evelyn, it's funny. I relate a lot to the younger moms because I love seeing moms and I love seeing happy moms. I wasn't always a happy mom, I'm sorry to say, but I always loved my kids. I always loved, you know, I was always thankful for them, but the days can get rough. So I'm at a better place now where I can relax a little bit. I would have liked to have done this when my kids were little. But my computer story is this is interesting for all you computer nerds out there. um, when I had my 8th child, I was kind of in a hard situation in my life. We were moving, everything was changing, and we had You've Got Mail, and we had the internet where you sign on to AOL, and it takes a long time to sign on to your AOL. And so I would go in the back room and I would sign on to AOL, and I found a group of moms who have large families and they homeschool and they want to teach their kids, Bible principles. So it was Christian homeschool moms, and it was called Quiverful Haven. Okay, it's not the Quiverful group that is a really huge group that a lot of people are in. It's not known by many people. The idea was when we first started, was we were going to be, you know, bringing more people in and encouraging young moms and encouraging quiverful people. And what happened was you get into talking about things that are kind of private, and when new people come in, it's kind of scary when you share information with people that you don't really know. And we had a couple incidents that weren't good. So we ended up closing the group. And so it was just that core of people that stayed with the group. And now my 8th child is now 20. So I have been on this computer group for 20 years, and it has morphed a little bit, and we have gone on to a Facebook group. So now a lot of us are grandmothers, and I am kind of put out a plea for somebody to write a book, because we have seen each other through some hard times and some good times. And it's been a really awesome journey. But some of those people taught me in my early computer skills. And so I kind of was into the computer group thing way back then just for support, because I was homeschooling with my family and I just wanted other moms to talk to. So Kelly, yes, we watch the TLC shows too, and I love them. I love the Duggars, and whenever they had some bad stuff that happened in their family, I wasn't surprised. I mean, the biggest surprise is, don't tell everybody you're perfect, because it's gonna come to an end. People are gonna find out the truth. So I don't ever tell people I'm perfect. And I know that most people know that nobody's perfect. But when you set yourself up to be the example and you are telling other people what to do, then, if you're a Christian, there's a spiritual warfare, and that something's going to happen to bring you to reality. God doesn't make any of us perfect. God doesn't intend for us to be perfect. He wants us to be reliant upon him. And for many years, I'm telling you right now, I was jealous of Mrs. Duggar. I'm like, why can she do it? And she gets all the kids to do all the housework. They're all happy. Look how clean their house is. And she would do talks and she was the happiest mother. What's wrong with me? What? And my oldest was such a blessing to me because she would always tell me, Mom, every family has problems. Don't worry about it. Everybody has problems. And it's so true. And now I tell her that because now she wants to be the perfect mom and she can't. She can't possibly be the perfect mom. And, it's just not going to happen. So I appreciate Facebook where we can share the good stuff and we can keep in the back of our minds that it's not everything. It's not the whole picture, but when you go through a photo album, when somebody passes away or something, you don't think about the bad stuff. You just hold on to the good stuff. And, I've had kids that have gotten older and they want to go off on their own. And, maybe they're bitter about something that happened in their childhood. And, I feel bad about it because bad things do happen in families. And I feel guilty. I feel like, I feel bad too. Like, why do they get to be bitter and I'm not bitter? Or maybe I did it and I'm sorry and they're not accepting it. So, but I just kept reminding them of all the good times, even when they were feeling bad. I kept reminding them of the good times, and God has gotten us through and gotten us over the hump of, realizing we're not perfect. We're just people, we're not going to be perfect. So if I was going to make a TV show, I just always wanted to keep my kids in a situation where they can make their own choices. They're not pressured by, the world and other people's expectations. And I think that's the best way. And oh, thank you for the compliment. This is a necklace I found at Walmart for $1. And I said, you know what? That's perfect. I love it. So I didn't have it on this morning for classes, but I said, I'm going to put it on for you guys. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate your words. I have always felt, well, I went to school to be a teacher for 4 years, and I am a math teacher. So I was so excited to get into that classroom and teach algebra, geometry, and all that fun stuff. And then I had kids, but I wanted to be home with my kids. So I just gave up everything and I said, I want to be there for my kids. And I did not realize at the beginning I would have so many kids. I just said I would trust the Lord for the amount of kids that he wanted us to have. And I was a little surprised at the number. But yeah, my youngest, he's awesome. Like, he's annoying, but he's also awesome. He's so smart. He's awesome. And I love having him, and I'm so thankful for the younger three boys. It's a whole different world than having the older kids, and then as the kids come into the family, now we have them all going out. My youngest boy is 11 years old, and he is like the smartest kid in the bunch. Like, we do go to school now. I teach at a Christian school because that's the only way I could afford it. I could not afford to send them. My husband already works 2 jobs. He pastors a small church in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's like, there are a lot of churches, but we have kind of a unique type of church. And so it's a smaller church, so they don't support him fully. So he works a second job as well. And we still need more money. Isn't that ridiculous? New Hampshire is crazy expensive. And so I work at the Christian school so that I can be there for my kids. And I love teaching. So I can teach there. But it's like a even exchange. So when I found VIP Kid, I finally found something that I could make a little extra money. So I have at home right now, I have, how many kids do I have at home? Okay. That's a hard question. So I have 6 kids in my home right now. My two oldest boys. One boy is going to be in his second year at Pensacola Christian College in Florida, and the next boy just graduated from high school, and he is going to Bob Jones University in Greenville, South Carolina. My second daughter lives nearby there, so he kind of wants to go there. He wants to go into the medical field, so he says they have better medical stuff there. And then so that makes four that will be at home full time next year. So it's really weird. But the three younger boys, they're pretty active and crazy, so they keep me busy. Yeah, I actually graduated from Bob Jones University when many moons ago, and my husband did too. But we met in New Hampshire, and then we both went down there to school, and we continued to be friends and ended up marrying each other, and we've kind of lived different places, moved around some, but we've been in this house for about 20 years now, and we've kind of kept the same life program going on. But this is the first time that I've really worked a lot. My husband did not like it when I started working at the Christian school. He had to get used to me not being home, but it's really helped me a lot. I don't feel guilty. Homeschooling, I felt guilty every single day. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Honestly, I was probably doing twice as much as I needed to, but I felt guilty. I wasn't relaxed at all. And so when I got to go to the Christian school, it was a little bit of a relief. It's actually easier for me. And now to add Vipkid is just fun. So I was planning on just doing a half hour. So if does anybody have any other questions? Yeah, homeschooling is awesome. I love it. I am jealous of my friends that still homeschool. I love it so much. I wanted to go back to do homeschooling next year, but there are some things that I feel I need the structure, especially for the boys. I feel like one day they're going to go out, they're going to get a job most likely. And even if you work for yourself, you need to be disciplined. You need to be able to set a schedule, and they need to know. People get up in the morning, they go to work, they fight through colds and flu and, fighting through, I don't feel good, I don't want to, that kind of stuff. With homeschooling, I felt like the girls did fine with that, but I felt like with the boys, they kind of, they didn't want to get out of bed. They didn't, they kind of fought me a little bit. So, and I also have one student of mine. Yeah, everything's hard. Everything's hard as a mom, Evelyn. You just have to find what's best for you. I love homeschooling. I have some of my best friends are homeschoolers, honestly. I go to school every day, but I don't really talk to the teachers that much. I'm teaching, but homeschooling, I've made some really great friends, and I still have them as friends. So they're not like holding it against me to not homeschool anymore. So, yeah. So I don't know. I kind of don't know how some people do Vipkid and have little children, because I don't know if I could have done that. So it's always easy to look at other people and think I couldn't do what they're doing, but maybe they couldn't do what you're doing. You're doing something special for you, and they're doing something special for them. But I just wanted to give a plug in the last minute. My grandkids are coming over, and we're going out to the lake today to visit a friend who has 9 adopted children, and he works at the school, and he is having like a cookout for people who want to adopt, but I'm not adopting. I told him I'm not adopting. I'll help him with his kids, but I'm just going to help other people with their kids. But I love kids and I would love to adopt, but I just really can't. So anyway, I wanted to give a plug for Level 7. I have loved Level 7, guys. It is so great. I had like my best class yesterday with a Level 7 student, and this kid had a British accent, and we had the greatest time. I do have WeChat. So he added me on WeChat. And this kid, I mean, he acts like he's 25. He wants to be the owner of a museum. So on WeChat, he's sending me pictures of museum artifacts. So you should go for it, Kim. It's really great. Some people said they didn't like it. It seemed like 50 minutes was going to be a long time, but it flies. Now my 25-minute classes seem like they're so short. Yes. I think it does count toward your raise, but it somehow it doesn't count like in your numbers, like on your total on your portal. But a friend of mine told me it does count toward your raise. So they do count it somehow. So I'm not really good at keeping, I am a math teacher, but I'm not really good at keeping up with those statistics. I'm trusting the company. So, hello, come here. Come here. This is my youngest. Hello. Hello. This is my oldest grandchild. All right. Well, I'm going to end here and I will talk to you next time. Have a great day.